cinema is just my language. That's cinema. I don't know. In the end, that's the most difficult stuff. But yes, it's common. It's common to try to create that kind of distance, and that's what I was trying to do in the film.
本日は10月8日公開シビル王アメリカ最後の日アレックス・ガーランド監督にインタビューしていきます。よろしくお願いします。
Thank you.
本当にめちゃくちゃ面白かったです。
Good.
今年日本でも報道の意義みたいな映画が公開されてたんですけど、もうそれとは全く違う切り口で描かれてたのが本当に僕はちょっと衝撃でした。この映画はジャーナリスト、戦場カメラマンが主人公で、特に日本ではですね、撮ってないで助けろよっていう言葉をよく書き込む人がいるんですけど、今撮ることとか伝えることが SNS で結構容易になってしまった今、なんで改めて映画っていう媒体で撮影をして伝えるっていう職業の映画を作ったんですか？
Cinema is just my language. I've worked in film for 25 years. I used to just be a writer. I used to write novels a long time ago when I was in my 20s. But I've worked in film for a long time, and I think there's something about cinema that just has a very direct way of communicating with people. And it's not just that it reaches a lot of people because films are popular and so they get seen all over the world, but it's not really that. It's actually the form of the communication. Cinema is a little bit like music. It has something kind of instinctive in it. And so to me, it's just a natural form of talking to people.
僕、エクスマキナは大好きなんですけど、エクスマキナのインタビューで予算が少ない中ですごい豪華なで、そして権力者の家を表現するのがすごい大変だったっていうのをインタビューでおっしゃっていたりとかして、今回アメリカの内戦ってすごい壮大な描写が必要な中で、ここは大変だったなとか、一番リアリティを描くおいて今回大変だったことって何ですか？
Often the things that I thought would be a challenge were not a challenge. So, for example, a lot of the film we're just shooting on location. So, like we have a refugee camp in a football stadium with graffiti everywhere. That's just a location that we found. And one of the things about America is, I think because America has more poverty than people expect, if you're looking for social degradation and in a way the kind of like the fingerprints of the reasons for the Civil War, you can find them. They're everywhere. In the end, often the challenging things in truth are things like weather. So we're shooting a scene with Jesse Plemons by a mass grave, and we have a limited budget. We're not like, we don't have $200 million. We're sort of like an indie movie, a big budget indie movie. And we have to shoot that scene really in one day. And if you look at the scene, the sun starts on one side of the landscape, and then halfway through the scene, the sun is directly above. And at the end of the scene, the sun is pushing through the trees because the sun is going down. And you just hope nobody will notice. That's typical of film. I felt like maybe it would destroy the scene that people would just see the sun going across the sky like this in something that's only taking 20 minutes or in real time or 10 minutes. But in the end, it's often things like that that's the most difficult. There's one shot in that scene that really bothers me where the sun was out all day and it was very hard light on people's faces. And then suddenly the sun goes in. It looks terrible. But nobody seems to notice. We had no choice. We put the shot in there. Suddenly, all of the light has completely changed. But You get away with it. That's cinema. I don't know. Yeah. In the end, that's the most difficult stuff. But actually, the biggest problem we had was the guns, because we were firing guns, not just like thousands, but tens of thousands of rounds. So like blank bullets, and every day, 5 miles away, people would be thinking a war has broken out, or there's a huge gunfight between two gangs, or like police being called 30 different times or 40 different. That was difficult. That happened day after day after day. The gunfire.
僕ももともと映画の助監督やってたので、アクションの助監督やってたので、めっちゃわかります。
In the action genre.
Okay,
Yeah.
right, yeah. Yeah, the problem is a gunfire, you can hear it 5 miles away. So you can't inform everybody. It's impossible.
最後の質問なんですけど、僕、ついこの間、戦場カメラマンを昔やっていた知り合いとちょっとお話しして、で、それで、シビルをめちゃめちゃ面白かったっていう話をその方にして、で、それの僕の言った理由が、戦場カメラマンを主人公にすると、観客がなんか一人一人に感情移入をさせないまま展開していくような映画になってるって戦場カメラマンの方に伝えたら、それはすごいリアリティのある描き方をしていると思うからとても見たいってその方がおっしゃってたんですけど、なんかそこって意識されましたか？
Yeah. I think, if you were to take 20 war photographers, you'd have 20 different like versions of what it is to be a war photographer. So there's no single truth. But sometimes a degree of distance is necessary because the things they are seeing are so disturbing, and also they're putting themselves often in so much danger that they have to create a kind of distance in order just to be able to do the job. But then sometimes later that distance collapses, and like maybe his friend, like there's sometimes these people have serious psychological problems later on. The distance is maybe just an illusion, but yes, it's common. It's common to try to create that kind of distance, and that's what I was trying to do in the film. Yeah.
最後に日本の監督のファン、そしてシビルを見たい方にメッセージを一言このカメラにお願いします。
Just if you watch the film, I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you find it provokes some thinking and some conversation. That's all.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much.
Okay.
ありがとうございます。
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.